What's going on, guys? This is Chris, and I'm standing here with a friend of mine who's gonna stay off camera because he thinks that he's gonna look like a hobo. So what we're gonna be doing today is we're gonna be looking at the differences between a real Gibson Les Paul, as you see here to my left, and a fake. I actually have two Gibson Les Paul China copies to my right here. Stop playing that guitar! And I have two China copies to my right here and a real one to my left. So I'm going to bring these up one at a time. I'm going to show you guys some of the differences in the quality of the building of a real one and then the quality building of a fake one. So the first thing that comes to mind when you're dealing with a real Supreme is this neck. This neck is ebony. Okay, guys, I know Gibson's in a lawsuit about ebony, but this is ebony. It is a beautiful, beautiful wood. You just see how smooth it is. And just another thing, note this about the neck. If you see these little places where the binding comes up over the fret markers, you will not find that on a Chinese copy. That is true Gibson craftsmanship. So another thing, you'll notice here on the bridge, let me just lift this guitar right, these screw holes are legitimate Gibson bridges. You have your adjustable wheel down here. I wouldn't mess with that unless you're trying to change your action. But you'll notice on Chinese Les Paul copies, you will have Phillips head or flathead screws here at the top that you can just dial up and down. And these ones are just these flat, nice pins that go up and down, and you adjust it down here. Obviously the differences in pickups, you have real Gibson pickups that come in the Supremes. This is, we're going to be comparing Gibson Les Paul Supremes, by the way, if I haven't mentioned that. They both look really good. They do look really good. As you can tell, this is a beautiful guitar. The finish on it is like AAA maple cap, front and back. Absolutely stunning finishes on these. And that brings me to another difference. The back of the neck here. You'll notice that this is mahogany body, and you can see that the mahogany continues down the neck into the headstock where you see your serial number, and the back of the headstock and the neck and the body are the same color, right? So they're the same finish. It's a nice lacquer on the back. It's a really solid way to tell if you've got a real Gibson. I'll actually show you the other ones first, and then we'll move on to the headstock, because there's a lot to look at with the headstock. So what we have here is a Gibson Les Paul Supreme copy from China. So you'll notice right off the bat, if I bring it up, that the neck is not ebony, it is rosewood, and it's not even a good rosewood. It is a really light rosewood, sort of washed out. The inlays on this one are actually done pretty well, believe it or not. If I had to, give them a grade on one thing that they really did right with this guitar, it would be the inlays. They did a fantastic job. But you'll note, if we go to the bridge, there's that flathead screwdriver mark that you need to unscrew on the bridge. We didn't have that on the real one. These are actually slash signature pickups. I have swapped them out on this guitar because when I received this guitar from China, the pickups were junk. They were absolutely unusable, and you could not, if you wanted to, play with them at a show. If you guys don't know what microphonic pickup means, go look it up. Basically, you can shout into it, and you can hear it in your amplifier, which is really bad. Because if you shout into these pickups, or you face them towards your amplifier, you're going to get this really nasty hissing and screaming sound out of your guitar. So, I mean, when it comes to looks, yes, don't get me wrong, this guitar, front and back, looks absolutely just as stunning as the other one. But you'll notice the finish down the neck, completely blacked out, right? So on the real Gibson, you have the neck being the same color as the finish on the body, but on the fake ones, they just mount the necks, they're fitted, and the necks continue black all the way down until the very poorly made headstock. And you can see the headstock there, it says made in USA, which it is obviously not. So I guess now probably good time to talk about headstocks, right? Here's the front. A couple things you'll notice right off the bat. It says Supreme, it's not centered, right? So you'll notice that there's this nice inlay here in the middle, and that inlay is supposed to be in the middle, but it's not. That's probably the most obvious thing, and that doesn't happen on all of the copies, but it definitely happened on this one. The Gibson logo is it's spelled sort of with a U. It doesn't really curve over to make the O shape as it normally would, and you can tell that Gibson isn't the exact Gibson. You know, it's not exactly what you're looking for. And also, if you can see, in the abalone, the I is actually a different material inlay than the rest of the word, which is strange. I've never seen that before. On this copy, you'll notice that the Les Paul truss rod cover actually has 2 screws. Now, on a lot of fakes, you'll find that the Les Paul truss rod covers actually have 3 screws. There'll be one in this corner, one in this corner, and then one up here at the top. But this one actually copied very well. It got the top to bottom. But if you open this up, there's just an Allen wrench key slot for your truss rod. That's not how real Gibsons do it. So let's bring the real Gibson back over here, and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. So here's the real Gibson headstock. Right away you can tell the difference. Remember, back is the same color as the finish. Real Grover tuners, very nice tuners. Nice gold hardware. You'll notice right off the bat, Gibson is perfectly inlaid. The baseline of the word is linear, which is good. We look for that. And the word that says Supreme, the inlay is in this beautiful script that the other one was sort of boxy. And it's in the middle, and it's big. It fills up the headstock where the other one didn't. The other one sort of had an ovular shape to it, and this one has the nice perfect round shape.
It's lighter.
What's lighter?
The inlay is lighter than the other Supreme.
Now I'll get to that. So another thing that's actually really important to point out, and this is the big telltale sign. Let me get really close in on here. You'll notice the continents. There is Africa down here and North America up here, and those are inlaid into the actual icon. You won't find that. I'll actually bring the other one back up here and I'll prove it. You won't find that in the fake inlays, so that's a really, really big thing to look for. Let me grab the other one. And you'll notice on the fake one, Supreme is written horribly. It's written really boxy, and there's no inlay here that says, you know, it shows the African continents or the North American continents. So that's a pretty telltale sign that you're looking at a fake. Just a word of warning with fakes. Yes, they're very easy to come by, and yes, they can look just like the real ones with a little bit of work. I ordered this one. I was very fortunate to get one with a nice finish. But what I want to show you now is what can happen when you order this and something different shows up at your door. So you can order one. This is probably what you'll see in the picture online. They'll show you this because it's pretty. It is. But sometimes what can show up at your door is something like this. Now don't get me wrong, this finish is not terrible. But by comparison, it doesn't even compare to the real one or the other fake one. You can tell I haven't done anything with this. It still has the pickups that came from China. It still has the knobs that came from China, and they're a little bit crooked. I don't know if you can tell from that image. The knobs are crooked, and the pots are really horrible. The wiring is horrible, and if you shake this guitar, there's actually some loose electronics on the inside, and I don't know if you can hear that in the camera. The back has a pretty nice finish. It is maple, but I'm almost convinced that it's a veneer. The airbrushing on this isn't really solid. The outside is done just in this thick black, and it doesn't really fade to anything. This one has an even lighter rosewood than the previous one, and this is an example of really poor quality craftsmanship, whatever the word is. You can see the headstock is almost a completely different shape. It's like a little bit, it flattens here, and then it's got the little top up at that little curve, where the real one's kind of pointy on the side. It really comes up and really defines the Gibson headstock shape. And they all say made in the USA. And the font is different too on the serial numbers. Doesn't look anything like the real one. So that's going to be about it. I just wanted to do a video showing you guys that, considering I don't usually get the chance to have 4 Gibson Les Pauls sitting in my house. But today I do, just because my friend's dad works as the VP of Marketing for Gibson now. And so I've had this awesome opportunity to bring you guys a really good video. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like, sub to my channel, favorite the video, share it with your friends, all that good stuff. I will see you guys later. Peace out. Just one more thing, guys. I just thought I would bring this out. I know towards the end of the video I said I had the opportunity to have 4 Gibson Les Pauls, and that I'd only shown you 3. So this is actually another one that my friend brought over. This is a Gibson Les Paul Traditional 2, and it's not a Supreme, but it really defines something that I had previously mentioned. So you'll notice this one isn't quite the finish on the other ones, because it's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be traditional. But this one really gets that defined O. And remember how I said sometimes they spell it with like a U on the fake ones? This one really covers that that making of the O shape. I just thought it was a really good little demonstration that I could give. And I had mentioned 4 Les Pauls and only shown you 3, so I guess I had to do a little segment with this one. So yeah, that's about it. Peace out, guys.